Hey everyone, welcome again to another episode of the Adult Autism, a Spectrum of Uniqueness podcast. I'm Chris Quarto. Well, this is the third and final episode of our series on the Anchor framework, and I'm really excited about this one because we're going to be moving from just learning about the framework to actually practicing it. And this is a different kind of episode because it's sort of like going back to school. I'm going to put on my teacher hat and you'll put on your student hat to practice the four steps of the anchor framework. And don't worry, I'll walk you right through it. Now, in case you're just hearing about the anchor framework or you need a little bit of a refresher, the anchor framework is a four-step approach to help you feel more grounded and centered when things feel overwhelming or overstimulating or are just making it difficult for you to get through the day feeling regulated. So let's do a quick recap of those steps. Step one is notice and name. So, what's going on inside you? Just take a breath and notice. Are you anxious, stressed? Maybe you're shut down, afraid. And that's all you need to do is just notice and name it. Step two is regulate. So this is where you drop anchor, so to speak. You do something that helps your body and brain settle down. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that involves using a sensory tool like a fidget toy or a stress ball. Maybe you do some body stretches or listen to some music or even just walking away from whatever it is that you find stressful for a moment. Now, step three is clarify. So you ask yourself, what do I need right now? And what really matters to me? Maybe you need to just reduce sensory stimulation. Maybe you need opportunities to talk about your interest with people. And this step is where you also commit to your values. In other words, things that matter most to you and have the biggest influence on how you behave. You can kind of think of values like you do maybe a compass or a GPS. They guide you in how you want to live your life. Maybe you value honesty or social justice or loyalty. So these things play big roles in how you make decisions, how you interact with people, and go about your business. And then finally, step four is act. What's one small action you can take that's in line with what you need and value? It doesn't have to be big, just one doable step forward. All right, so let's make this real. We're going to walk through three quick scenarios based on challenges autistic adults might face. And as we go through these, you'll get to think through how that person could use the anchor framework to feel more centered, more grounded, more balanced. So, first up is Jamila. So Jamila is 38. She's autistic and she's burned out. She's been working these long hours at the Amazon warehouse, and it's just totally exhausted her, both physically and emotionally. She's told people that she feels like a zombie. Maybe you felt that way at times. And Jamila just hasn't had the energy to spend time with her nieces and nephews, which is something that usually brings her joy. Now, let's go through the anchor framework. The first step is notice. Now, if you were Jamila, what might you notice in terms of things that aren't going so well? Now, you can press pause if you want to and just think about this. All right, well, maybe I feel numb. I feel totally wiped out. Now, how could she regulate? Well, you might have come up with some ideas that are different from mine, and that's okay. But what I thought of is that she could drink more water throughout the day to keep her feeling refreshed. Take some stretch breaks at work that don't take anything more than 10, 15 seconds. Take a warm bath after work and give herself opportunities to rest. Okay, clarify is next. Now, remember, clarify is all about identifying what you need and what matters most to you in terms of how you want to live your life. So, what do you think Jamila needs? I think she probably needs rest, don't you? And what she values is connecting with her nieces and nephews. She really enjoys hanging out with them because they don't place the same types of expectations on her for conversations like adults do. So finally, Jamila acts. She sets reminders to drink water and to stretch and rest at various points of the day, and text her sister to schedule a visit with her nieces and nephews. Okay, did you get through that one okay? All right, well, let's continue with Nick. So Nick is 41. He's recently diagnosed with autism. And at work, he keeps getting interrupted in meetings by his coworkers, which isn't, the greatest feeling. It makes him feel like what he has to say just isn't that important. And his body reacts to this. His face feels hot. And then he finds out that one of the coworkers sent out invitations for a cookout, but didn't invite him. And of course, that doesn't feel good. And in fact, Nick feels rejected. And as you can probably imagine, he's spiraling mentally and emotionally when this happens. So let's consider the anchor framework again. What do you think Nick might notice going on inside? Well, it could be something like, I feel what? What do you think he's feeling? Maybe hurt? And I feel hot too. My face really feels hot. Now, what might he do to regulate? Well, I mean, he could use a fidget toy that he keeps maybe hidden under the table during meetings. And after this particular meeting, he decided to go into the bathroom and just splash some cold water on his face because remember, he noticed he felt hot and upset. He also thought it would help to get a cold bottle of water to drink just to kind of settle his nervous system. Now, what does Nick need? Well, he needs respect. And what matters to him is being kind and considerate to people and for people to treat him that way in return. So, in terms of act, Nick sets or sends a short follow-up email to his coworkers after the meeting, just to kind of share with them what he didn't get to say. And he does that in a respectful way. He doesn't mention the cookout. He's just trying to take one small step at a time at this point. All right, here's the last one, is Sarah. Now, Sarah's 27. She dreads going to the pharmacy, which is located at her local Kroger grocery store. And they don't happen to have a drive-through at this location, so she has to go inside to get her medication. And what makes this hard for Sarah is sensory overload, the bright lights, the sounds, and people talking loudly. And so one day she walks into the store and heads over to the pharmacy. And unfortunately, she gets stuck in line behind several people who are waiting for their medications. And the person behind her is talking to someone on the phone. And actually, they're arguing and they're shouting at the person that they're talking to on the phone. So this is awful. In terms of the anchor framework, what might Sarah notice? Well, maybe my heart's racing. I feel trapped. And how could she regulate herself in a situation like this? Well, if she planned ahead, She could pull her sunglasses and noise reducing earbuds out of her purse and put them on. And maybe she keeps a worry stone in her pocket that she can rub to soothe herself when she feels too stimulated. Now, Sarah knows what she needs, but what do you think those needs are? Well, the main thing is to make it through this moment and get her medications because maintaining her mental health, that's what she really values. That's what really matters to her, especially because she's been through some mental health crises in the past. So she makes it through the experience and decides, I'm going to reward myself with a bowl of ice cream when I get home. Now, what do you think she might do in the future the next time she needs to pick up her meds? Well, maybe she'll go at a less busy time. I mean, that would probably be the easiest thing to do. So here's the takeaway. Hey everybody, Chris Quarto here. Just wanted to make quick mention about something that I'm very excited about. It's an online course that I'm developing for newly diagnosed autistic folks, although any autistic person can benefit from it. It doesn't have a title yet, but the thing that I'm going to be covering in that course are masking, establishing your authentic identity as an autistic person. We'll talk about communication challenges and what to do about those, and also what about autistic burnout and how can you help yourself with that? So, if those things sound interesting to you, keep an ear and an eye out for notices. I'm going to publish this in the next few months. I'll have notices about it not only on this podcast, but in my newsletter too. If you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, check out the link below. I have a link there you can click on, get on there very quickly. If you also just want to shoot me an email and let me know that you're interested in that course, you can do that too. Send me an email at chris@chrisquarto.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot. You don't have to do the whole framework perfectly every time. Just starting with, step one, noticing and naming, that's a good place to start. And if you can do that with something that's triggering you, then that's a win. And if you want to get better at noticing, which oftentimes starts with an awareness of what's going on inside of us that doesn't feel right or is a sign of danger ahead in terms of emotional dysregulation, I've got a video you can watch that teaches you how to do a quick body scan. It's not a video I made, it's one I found on YouTube, but it's really good. It's actually made for kids, but honestly, it works for adults too. And the link is in the show notes below, so make sure that you check that out. Now, look, I get it. I mean, trying something new can feel risky, but experimenting with the anchor framework, it doesn't mean that you're committing to it forever. It just means that you're open to giving it a shot. And maybe it'll become something you can count on in tough moments. Um, all right, so that's it for this series. I hope it's been helpful. And if you think it would be helpful to get more detailed written information on what the anchor framework is, everything that I've talked about in these last three videos, and you just kind of want it in more detailed written form, including that picture with the four parts of the framework that you can save and even use as wallpaper on your phone. As well as a practice guide to help you develop these skills using these four core elements, then just sign up for my newsletter because the first three newsletters provide you with all of this information. It's a really good stuff, and I'll put the link below so you can do that. Thanks so much for listening to this and all of my podcast episodes. I don't take any of you for granted, and remember that your uniqueness is awesome. Have a great rest of the week.